Everybody loves to give their advice because it makes them feel significant, which is one of the 6 basic human needs. But how do you know when to take advice and when to ignore it? What's going on, brothers? It's your boy Joey from The Crafted Channel, where we work together to help young men solve common issues that we all face. In this video, we're going to be identifying who we should be taking advice from, identifying why this person is giving advice to you, figuring out how their advice worked for them, and then lastly, we're going to figure out if their advice can actually work for you or not. And at the end of the video, I've got some tips for when you give advice to somebody else. Young men are very prone to accepting any and all advice because we just want answers in the vast ocean of questions wandering around our brain. Advice is defined as an opinion or recommendation offered as a guide to action. So the first thing we need to go over is identifying who we can take advice from in the first place. I'm not sure this guy knows what he's talking about, even though his advice does sound compelling. So first of all, let's identify if this person that's giving you advice is qualified to give you the advice they are giving. Do they have sufficient experience on that subject or that topic that they're giving you advice on to give you advice? Basically, have they been through the same experiences that you are going through? So are they giving you advice on dating hot girls? Are they giving you advice on starting a business? Are they giving you advice on losing weight? What are they giving you advice on? You have to identify if this person is qualified and has sufficient experience in giving the advice they are giving. And the next thing we need to talk about is the experience they have with their own advice. First of all, did they apply their own advice or not? How did they do with their own advice? If somebody's giving you advice on dating hot girls or what to do, how to make the next move, or how to make her your girlfriend if she's an extremely hot girl, she's a 10 out of 10, has this person ever dated or even talked to or texted a 10 out of 10 girl? Identify whether or not this person's giving you helpful advice or they're just projecting what they think should be said. So for instance, when it comes to spending money, if somebody's giving you advice on finances or how to spend your money or where to invest your money, take a look at their life, take a look at their finances. If there's somebody who has money coming in every month and is spending more every month than they have coming in, then they're probably not the right person to take financial advice from. Or if you're trying to lose weight and you're getting advice from somebody who's already fit, they've never really had to lose weight or lose fat or cut fat. If you're trying to lose 100 pounds and you're taking fat loss advice from somebody who's never had to lose 100 pounds, are they going to have the same experiences that you are going to go through? The second thing we need to go over is differentiating the good advice from the bad advice. You shouldn't date those types of girls, bro. They're gonna say what they can to get what they want. So the first thing we need to consider is this other person advising us, giving us advice for our own good or not? Do they understand your exact situation? Did you just tell them about a problem and not really explain the situation in detail for them to give you sufficient advice? Are they just projecting what they want to hear, what they want to say, or what they think your situation's like? Because your situation could be completely different than what they have in their head going on, and they're giving you advice based off of what they've accumulated in their brain. So you have to understand, is this person coming with good intent? Are they actually telling me something to benefit myself or just to hear them talk and try to sound cool? And do they understand your exact situation? And an easy way to figure this out is just to ask them why they're giving you advice, but you can make it sound super simple. Hey, thanks bro, why are you being so helpful? Because all girls suck, but some suck less. Compared to, because bro, you sound like a guy with a good heart and you just need to know that some girls will break it with absolutely no remorse. The third thing we need to do is identify the quality of their advice. You shouldn't spend your money on that car. It's better spent elsewhere. Ask them straight up, how did your advice help you? And then let them talk and give you an example or a definition by their terms of how their advice has helped them previously. Because you might even find out that they've never even applied their own advice and they just want to tell you what they think you should do. Take a look at their life and see if they even have a car after advising you to spend your money elsewhere. You never know, you might just find out that they don't have a car and they spend all their money gambling, trying to win big, but never do, and now they still don't have a car. So let's figure out how effective their advice is. Did the money that they did not spend on a car bring a bigger or better return on their investment? Fourth thing we need to go over is identifying whether or not their advice will work for you. If you can use common sense and your gut feeling to figure out whether or not this person's giving you good advice, whether you think it's good advice. What can you do to test it out in maybe small amounts and not apply the advice on something that could be life-altering, because what you're doing is putting your entire life at stake based off of somebody else's opinion. Figure out what you can do to test their advice and see if that's a good source of advice, if that's a good piece of advice. And if you find out that this person's giving you solid advice that does help you and does work, you can then understand that you can trust this person and their advice for the most part. And you also need to figure out if their advice was shaped to their personality or your personality. You have to realize extroverts, introverts, A-type personalities, B-type personalities, alphas, betas, males, females, everybody has different personality traits, everyone has different personality types, everything's different about people and individuals. So if they are a completely different person and they would handle a situation completely differently, like in a social situation, they're an extrovert and they're giving you advice as an introvert, how to be more social or whatever, you have to figure out their advice is coming from their personality and what they've experienced. They don't understand fully that you have a different personality and you may not be able to apply that advice as simply as they are giving it. Guys, just understand this, that bad advice is oftentimes much worse than no advice at all. Left to our own devices, we can usually find a solution that best fits our own personalities without any advice, but advice does help a ton if it is good advice. Real quick before I end this video, let me give you a few tips on what you should consider before giving your own advice to somebody else. 1, do you actually have successful results from applying your own advice? So if you're advising one of your homeboys or just some other guy how to date or how to pick up girls or how to talk to girls or how to be in a relationship or how to make money, let's say it's the girl topic. Have you talked to hot girls before and successfully talked to them and gotten wherever you wanted to get with them? Have you successfully done that? Yes, figure out if their personality is similar to your personality and what you can say to them to help them and their personality with that advice. 2, do you genuinely care whether or not this person succeeds with your advice, or are you just saying things that you think they should do or you just want to see them do or you think would work? You have to back it up with proof, not what you think would work, because you're dealing with somebody else's life. And if you're giving them bad advice or unproven advice, it could harm them. And number 3 is to encourage them to test your advice. So whatever advice you do give them, go over it logically, realistically with them, and then have them apply it wherever they can just to test the advice and see if it is good advice and it'll work for them. Advise them, take care of them. They are your brothers and your sisters, just like you guys are to me, which I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and drop a like before you take off. I'm gonna miss you guys so much. I know. Hey, but remember, new videos every day, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. PST. Make sure to come back for tomorrow's video. If you're not already subscribed, bro, subscribe to the channel. I want to see you back again tomorrow. As always, have a fantastic rest of your day, boys. Peace.